for free.
Oh, shit.
But that not their boat down there.
Are there more
Break
people?
away from there, bruh. Yeah.
Are there more people we need to get?
Oh, so who's the owner of the boat?
That's why you boat up in there. They're far in. Look like they're on reef or something.
That's what it
See?
is?
Oh, I hope not. That's
Who's
my
the captain?
boat.
That's your
No,
boat.
that's your boat, buddy.
That's our boat.
That's your boat.
Yes.
Who's the captain of the boat?
Where's the other? That guy came from up. He came from east. He wasn't around there. He came from far up.
What's our boat doing over there?
I don't know if he saw that boat.
What about all our other divers?
One guy that picked them up.
I think everyone got picked up. There's like 6 is how many I
No, we
saw.
had 7. We had 7 plus the dive master.
Let's make sure maybe we can check.
I've seen that boat when it was coming down now, but I thought they were going in through there. I thought the boat when it was coming down.
God, I just
It
hope
looked
we
like
have
she was going
everyone.
through that butt there. Sorry.
You're
No,
fine.
we're-
Got a hook. Yep, you're fine.
Let me unclip it. Let me
Let me.
Who's on the boat? We had 6 divers on the buoy and no boat. I got that. Where are my buddies? Where are the other divers? Rick, are you there?
Yeah. All right, I couldn't see you. The rest I'm up there.
There's a couple. Oh, there's a couple on the buoy.
There's some more over there. We got to get the other ones. Look at those out there. There's more out there.
Other divers. All right, you get them. I'm
Oh, I see
safe.
a
Get
person
them.
right there.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know how that boy was stuck. That big yellow.
Hey folks, welcome to another Water Trek 360. Today I want to talk about often forgotten safety devices that, when needed, could save your life. I was recently diving in the Caribbean and had a situation which is one of every diver's biggest fears. When my dive partners and I surfaced, the boat was gone, nowhere to be seen. There were 7 of us. It was a sobering sight to see one of the divers clinging onto the buoy and nothing else but open water. So what happened? The day was ripe for issue. It was a really windy day, lots of rain clouds. We had 1 foot to 1.5 foot chop and a pretty strong current. Our planned dive site already had another boat on it, so we moved to a lesser dived spot. We hooked into the buoy. The captain, who was also our dive master, and 7 divers went for a swim. When the dive was over, we did our hang on the mooring line and did our safety stop. I did think to myself that I didn't remember as much scope on the line on our initial descent because I couldn't see the boat's shadow. Unfortunately, the mooring line from the boat to the buoy snapped. Adding to this issue, the dive master left on the boat was young, new, and inexperienced. Most importantly, they did not know how to pilot the boat. When the mooring line snapped, the boat drifted and grounded on a beach about 1.5 miles away. That was one of the reasons we couldn't locate the boat after surfacing. Once I surfaced after the initial shock, the current had already pushed me past the buoy. I couldn't get back. I tried, but I gave up. I was carried farther and farther from the main group. I dropped my weight belt as procedure and scanned the horizon for the boat. The only one I saw was a fishing boat several hundred yards away. I took out my safety sausage, surface marker buoy, and started waving it back and forth, yelling for help. Seemed like forever. I was concerned they didn't see me. Finally, the boat swung around, turned, headed towards me, and a few minutes later, they retrieved me, and I was on the boat. Again, I want to thank Becky, who first saw me on the boat, and to the boat crew that pulled me in. The other divers were picked up by the other boat from our shop. I was later reunited with them, and we headed to our original boat, which luckily wasn't significantly damaged. They freed it from the beach, and we met them elsewhere on the other side of the island. transferring back to the original boat. Having dove for many years, I must tell you, shit happens. Mooring lines do snap. You have to be prepared. The dive shop actually ran a pretty good operation. The one mistake they made was leaving a junior person on the boat who couldn't pilot it. Luckily, everyone was retrieved and there was no one injured. So let's look at my own issues, ones that made me rethink my setup. I was carrying a pretty large camera rig. I have a harness that I use that I sling over my head, and it frees up my hands when needed. During my attempt to get back to the mooring line, I unclipped one end in the hope that when I reached the mooring line, I would clip it, snap it to the line, and then simply hang on until someone came. Well, as mentioned, I never made it back to the buoy. I didn't at that point reclip it to the rig and put it around my head. That was a mistake. I have another lanyard which goes around my wrist, which holds this 9-pound rig. So this hand was occupied. When I removed my safety sausage, surface marker buoy, I had difficulty inflating it while holding the camera rig. So I never fully inflated it and was just waving it. Additionally, with the safety sausage in one hand, the camera rig in the other, I had a hard time getting to my whistle. I'm going to relocate this as well on my BC so it's easier and more accessible to get at. And look into a safety sausage that has an auto inflator, or at least one that is easier to inflate. My concern is that of the 7 divers in the water, there was only one other one that had a surface marker buoy. I guess that's marginally acceptable if they're all grouped together. But what happens if you get separated like I did? How do you make yourself easily recognizable to passing boats or air rescue? I only saw 3 divers with the whistle. Again, it is a tool to assist in getting heard and therefore rescued. Additionally, of the 7 divers, only 3 had snorkels. This is the one I find most controversial. I hear it all the time, that a snorkel is a useless tool, that the people that use them are noobs. Well, I disagree. I've been diving for 45 years. There are instances when a snorkel is not needed. I agree. Cave diving, ice diving, if you have a full face mask system, that type, or even kelp diving, it can present challenges when using a snorkel. But if you are open water diving, drift diving, or beach diving, where you have to swim extended time to get to a designated area before you dive, then I think a snorkel is essential. It is a tool that can save your life. Even though you're on the surface and you might have some additional air, your tank air is not going to last forever. And in heavy seas, being without a snorkel creates greater risk of drowning. Period. These are 3 simple tools: whistle, safety sausage, surface marker buoy. They are cheap, and snorkel. They are cheap, effective, and work. Every diver who dives, almost every diver who dives in open water should carry all of them. There are other devices like signal mirrors that you can use. I didn't have one, but if you are doing a lot of open water or drift diving, it's not a bad idea. Luckily, this whole episode took under an hour to resolve. I had one additional safety tool which I didn't use but would have if this incident didn't get resolved as quickly, and that's my phone. I use a Dive Bulk C-Touch 4 Max underwater housing, and therefore, had the fishing boat not seen me and picked me up or ended up drifting any longer, I would have used that phone to call an emergency number or 911 on the surface, because it works just like the phone does and I have access to it. Something to think about. So, a reminder to all divers that shit happens. Be prepared. Have the right tools, safety tools, in the event of an emergency. Teach yourself how to use them properly, especially a snorkel. Anyway, this was my public service announcement for today. I hope you are all enjoying your dive experiences. I'm out here in California for a couple of months, so stay tuned for some cold water videos coming shortly. And again, my friends, until you see me the next time, go explore, get wet,